So I'm going to try to take 5 more minutes and just go through an introduction to the usage of Factory and Control.io. And the first thing that I would like to show people is this, the inside of the View menu option, you have the ability to show stats. Likely, you'll only look at this once, but I'd recommend looking at it at least once. We have a time scale of 1 to 1. Your machine should be displaying 1 to 1. If it's below that, then my suggestion to you is to either stop other software that's running, or if you were to make the window smaller, you should see the time scale get closer to 1 to 1. On slower machines, you may see that deviation from 1 to 1. So that is problematic if it's significantly lower. It'll also make creating the scene more difficult. We will not adjust the time seam speed, the simulation scale, but you could if you wanted to, but there's no reason for us to do that. So right now, again, my scene isn't running. When you want to run it, we'll click the run button, and then your controller starts in the background or over here. So I'm gonna just go and we'll stop it and actually put some tags on. Now, most of these tags I'm gonna put down are not tags that you will need to use. I'm gonna put all of these FactoryIO tags down just so you can see them. I'm gonna put so I went down to utils to note, and I'm gonna create a note, and in the note here, just scale it a little bit. I'm going to just put the text general information. And FactoryIO it'll take probably a couple of hours to get used to. There's, like any other piece of software, there's nuances to it that might seem odd at first, and then you figure out what the authors were intending to do or not intending to do. So I'm taking these tags, I'm putting them down on our controller. These tags actually won't do anything until the scene runs. There's no we'll say there's no current running through the controller. So until that starts, nothing happens. So I press the play button. We could see all of these tags aren't doing anything just yet, but I do have the Boolean, the state has changed for whether it's running or not. So looking down here, we have sources where we could feed a value into a tag, and then we also have memories where we could take a memory block here, and then store the value that's been set. So here I've stored it's displaying the current state of FactoryIO. And if I were to stop it, we could see that it's off. So going back to the interface, I would suggest getting familiar with the View button. One of the things that you're going to want to be able to do is use the display the sensors and actuators tags. This is a very simple scene. Ours is more complex for Mini Project 1. So you're going to want to take a look and see where the sensors and actuators are physically in the environment. The other thing that I just did right there was I used the right mouse button to manipulate where I'm at in my view. So I took the right mouse button and I moved my mouse to the left, right, up, down, and then there's different view types. Like we could go to a first-person view, and then we can zoom in or zoom out from if I were an actual like person looking up or down or left or right. I prefer to use this control, the orbit camera. I think that's the easiest, and you could move just about anywhere with the orbit camera. So in addition to left, right, up, down, the other thing you could do is use assuming that you have a mouse wheel. If you don't, there are keyboard controls. You could move backwards and forwards in the scene, just as if you were like walking on the factory floor. The last thing that I'll do in this is show how you could control the scene, or can provide value, put value into a tag. In this case, it's going to be to control the scene. Likely you won't need to do that. You'll want to control your actuators and then get inputs from your sensors. But I'll press the play button again, and we can see we started. I press stop. I am going to use this reset tag, and I'm going to take a Boolean value and click on the circle, and I'll drag that over to the FactoryIO reset tag. I'm going to press the play button. I can see it's playing, and then if I were to press the this button now, this Boolean source, and change its state, I have changed the state of the scene to pause. So, and I'm looking at that. You're probably laughing at me. No, I didn't. I changed the state to reset, but I could have changed it to pause if I actually just took the pause tag. That aside, you'll probably end up going through iterations like that. I'd suggest working on your project in very small blocks, label them according to what you're trying to accomplish, and then work at it for, I don't know, an hour or a couple of hours. And when you get stuck, maybe it's time to put it down, walk away, come back to it later. The project, the PDF does say that the project will take anywhere from 15 to 50 hours, and those are legitimate numbers, so I definitely suggest that you start early. Um, the more time that you have in terms of the number of days, obviously, the better, but the ability to just stop, walk away, and then think about your problem is going to make using this and doing mini project one much a much better experience.